And welcome everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Group 8 presentation, Habit 6, Synergize. Of course, I believe everyone can hear me, but so I can be
Yes,
very sure you hear me. Let
yeah,
me
we
see.
can.
I mean, no, let me just say a thumbs up in the comment section. Let me know you're with me. So I know I'm not speaking, I'm not having a monologue here. All right. Thank you so much. So habit 6 talks about synergy or synergize, and it's like the conglomerate, it's the epicenter of what this book is all about. So habits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they all find significance in habit 6, synergize. From the author even said it that synergy is the true test and manifestation of all of the other habits put together. So everything we've learned so far, the essence of it or the main interpretation or the main application of it would come under synergize. So let me just take us through the various habits that we have gone through or that we have read. We started with habit 1, and habit 1 talks about being proactive. Being proactive says, I know no other encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of a man to elevate his life by conscious endeavor, meaning that at this point, you should be able to take the initiative, do what you need to do, and take responsibility for yourself. Make that commitment, whether it's in your relationship, whatever change you desire in yourself, it has to start from within. We have to be proactive instead of being reactive. And Abitu said we should start with the end in mind. You talk about the story where you had a dead person and you have to, through imagination, imagine how you want your end to be. And you start writing the script of your life from the very end. So that was habit 2. We talked about 4 major factors: security, guidance, wisdom, power. That all of these are interdependent. We need all of this for us to be able to see the end and have a focus. Now, we talk about the several centeredness in habit 2. Talk about spouse centeredness, family, money. And the major one, which the book really prescribes, is principle centeredness. Now, this means that your whatever is driving you is based on what is fundamentally true to you, not just about the end, not just about the end for you. It's not about the money you're going to make, not about just having a beautiful marriage. It's about those values that you value the most. Then habit 3 talked about put the first things first. And that's so enlightening, because it talks about having independent will, and that's also towards principle, being principle centered. Now, if you have done the first 3, you now have what you call a private victory. That means you have conquered yourself. You have that inner victory. Then you can now bring it to the public, where you now have successful relationship. Habit 4 talks about public victory, where you now have successful relationship with others. You cannot relate to others because you can't give what you don't have. So you start making emotional deposits in habit 4, and then you move to habit 5, which is to think win-win. There's several win types here. We have about 5 of them. You have win-win, you have win-lose, you have loss-win, you have loss-loss, you have win. Which for me, you'd have said, oh, that's the best thing that'll happen. But no, because if you have just the win mentality, it's synonymous with being selfish. All you just want is what you want and what works for you, and not really what is relevant to others. But we're told in the book that we must strive for win-win. Our win-win will show in our character, it will show in our relationship, it will show in our agreement, it will show in our supportive system, and also show in the process by which you're going to get things done. Then habit 5 talk about seek first to understand, then to be understood. It talks a lot about emphatic communication, how it at the center of our heart, we should focus on how to engage with people, not because we want to plant our own seed in their lives, but want to encourage the seed in them to grow. So this is not you projecting yourself on another. This is not you living your life through the life of another. You know how some parents are. You've always wanted to be a doctor, you never became a doctor, and you're doctoring the doctor through your child. So your child must become a doctor, whether he likes it or not. That's not how life is. So you have to understand that, hey, he's got his own life and you have had your own life. So move on, we move. So habit 6 here talks about creative cooperation. Now, not just
There's no.
because it's not everybody you can actually work with. It's not everybody you can synergize. Now, one major thing that stood out for me here or for the group is he said synergy is not sameness. It's not that things are the same. Or what synergy is. And what comes to mind is colors. I'm sure a lot of us here are married, and if I ask how many of us on our wedding day wore white suit, white shirt, white tie, white belt, white shoe, and came for wedding. Maybe that's for the groom. And then for the woman, you wore white gown, white veil, white earring, white makeup, your lips were white, your shoes were white, everything around you was white. So you can imagine that kind of picture. It doesn't make sense. Even when it comes to fashion, you have to, there's always a mix of colors, a mix of plain and pattern, a mix of this and that to create that uniqueness. When you want to cook, you don't cook with one thing. You don't cook egusi with just egusi. You will still mix it with oil. You will mix it with meat. You will decide to have a rich taste. That's the center of that's what synergy is all about. It's not about being the same. It's about understanding our differences and understanding the strength in each of us and putting it together to get something big. From the book, synergy is just the whole is greater than the sum. That means that a we is greater than a I. What a we will do, we I mean WE. What a we will do, a I cannot do. When we do it individually, one, it will not work. Talked about the power of even word, that when you put two words together, what they can carry is so much more than what they can carry individually added up together. So synergize is not addition. Synergize is more like multiplication. It's more like when you have geometric progression, where 2 will lead to 4, 4 will lead to 8, 8 will lead to 16, and thereabout. Lawal, we can now get to the slide.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so let's move to the first slide.
Okay, so this is the first slide.
Next slide, please. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so while we wait for that to move, the essence of synergy is to value differences, and to respect them, build on strength and compensate for weaknesses. Meaning that you are strong as your strength, you are as weak as your weak. Like they would say that the strongest a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So understand that people are different. We all have different ideologies. We all have different mindsets. We're all going in different directions. However, we can bring all of this together, build on each other's strength, and be able to do what one person cannot do. For example, what comes to mind is your typical relay. When you run your 4x100, now you have those who are very fast, who would probably start and end, and then you have the people who are not very fast, who will do maybe who will do the second button and the third. So you use the speed of others to be able to compensate for the slowness of others. So if you have a Usain Bolt in your team, you're going to put him last because you know if the first, second, third person don't run well, by the time the baton is given to your Usain Bolt is likely going to overturn the whole thing. The same thing in football. One person know the win match. World Cup is on. Some of the best teams are out, even with the C Ronaldos and the Lionel Messi of this world. One person know the win match. You need the 11 because if you keep scoring and your goalkeeper is like basket, you can score 10 and they will score you 20. You still lose. So you need that. You need that synergy for everyone to be able to do their part, work the way they ought to work, and get things done. Now, can we move to the slides?
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, is this the one you want, or do you want to go back or further?
Let's move to habit 6.
Okay, let me start from the beginning. So the beginning. Just tell me when you want me to stop.
Okay, let's just move.
Okay, go ahead.
I am. The slide has not moved here. I've not seen the next slide. I'm seeing habit synergize.
Oh, I'm actually moving it. It's actually moving over here. Can you see
What?
this chat? Can you see the current chat I'm showing right now? Levels of communication.
No, the current what I'm seeing now is still habit 6 synergize. I'm still seeing the same thing. Maybe
It's currently showing levels of communication over here.
I'm not seeing that, but okay. Actually,
So it looks like your system is a bit slow because I'm seeing levels of communication here also.
oh, okay. I am not
Yeah.
seeing that yet.
Okay. So
Guys, and 7 habits of effective. But okay. All right. So there are some circumstances in which synergy may not be possible. Like what comes to mind sometimes is you have marriages that actually did not work, and you begin to ask yourself, okay, so what happened? There are some business deals that we, like they say, light and darkness have nothing in common. You cannot do business with someone whose values are in totally difference with you, and you're telling yourself, and maybe they say differences is you have to look for the strength in the strength and then combine it with the weakness and all of that. No. So there are certain places where in sincerity, you just know that this can't work. Nobody's asking you to go and synergize with it. Or someone that is a 419 to do business, your money will go. Okay. But you can also be sincere about it. So sameness is not oneness, uniformity is not unity. Oneness is Sameness is uncreative and boring. The essence of synergy is to value our differences. And that is how you do that, both the mental, emotional, and psychological differences between people. So you need to understand that we're all at different phases in our lives, whether it's synergizing in communication, in the organization, in business, or even in your relationship. In your marriage, you and your husband most times see might not have the same temperament, but in love and honesty you can sit down and you know be open to each other, and out of care and love for each other decide what is the best for you. In organizations, they tell you say no be first the way sabi book. I ain't carry first. Person wey carry first most time no be him sabi book pass. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So sometimes you need that synergy in your teamwork to be able to do the best that you can. A one-man person. The picture that comes to mind again is, when the scripture talks about the 5 stones that David speak from the book that he used to kill Goliath. Have you ever asked yourself why were the 5 stones smooth? They were smooth because over time they had frictions and they had learned to understand and work with themselves. The Bible never told us one stone was against the other, that it means that David should pick. Why didn't he pick me? Pick the other one. No. At the end of the day, the scripture just told us he picked 5 stones, and out of them he picked one. He shot at Goliath, and Goliath went down. And everybody celebrated. So when you're doing your work, whether it's in an organization or anywhere, have the mentality that it's not just about me. The stage is big enough for everyone. Even if I have to do all of the work and my team succeeds, oh wow, that's fine. That's fine. If everybody has to contribute for the team to move, oh, better. But no one should now stand and want to take the glory. No, it doesn't work that way. Remember again, we all don't have all of the strength that we need. We'd always need one person, and in different phases of our life where we would lean on people. You don't have all of the strategies. Some of the big ideas that will come to you will not come from your own end. It might come from another end or come from a person who you have always felt has nothing to offer. Might just be that one thing you offer will be the transformation, will cause all of the changes, because will lead to all of the changes that you need. And that's just how it works. So at this juncture, I might just have to just hand it over to Lawal, because my I can't really see my screen. I'm actually speaking from the values I have gotten from the book. Thank you very much. Over to you, Lawal.
All right, thank you very much,
Okay,
Miss Mimi.
that's 2 minutes for us.
All right,
Remain.
just to round up from where Miss Mimi stopped. So I'm just going to pick out like and talk about the last slide. So these are more like talking about the factors you are going to notice when you synergize with one another. And it says you are synergizing when you have a change of heart, when you feel new energy and excitement, when you see things in a new way, when you feel that the relationship has transformed, and also when you end up with an idea or a result that is better than what either of you started with. which is known as the third alternatives. So this is more like, for the fact that when you start synergizing with each other, you get to see these new things. And also it's also important to also emphasize that the third alternative should always be considered. It should always be a factor, when you're trying to synergize with one another. And lastly, I just want to also round up with the fact that it's also important for us to know that synergizing is different from it's different from compromise. Basically, synergizing is all about trying to reason with each other and trying to look for a better or a more advanced option as to the current situation that is on ground. Yeah, I think that will be all from us because of time. I think we have just less than few seconds to go. Nevertheless, thank you very much.